Greetings, dear listeners. Welcome to our channel where we share real-life stories that touch the heart, make us think, and sometimes bring tears or a smile of justice. Before I begin today's story, I want to ask you for a small favor. If you enjoy these stories, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell for notifications. It really helps more people find us. And as always, please write in the comments which city or country you're watching from. I love reading where you all are. It makes me feel we're all connected. Today's story is called The Ruby Revenge. It is the story of a grandmother who gave everything to her family until the day she discovered the truth and finally chose herself. Now let the story begin. My name is Evelyn Harper. Most people just call me Grandma Evie. I live in an old Victorian house in Savannah, Georgia. The house has high ceilings, wooden floors that creak when you walk, and a big porch where the azaleas bloom pink and white every spring. This house has been in my family for 3 generations. It is full of memories and full of treasures. There are antique tables and chairs that belong to my mother, delicate porcelain figurines from my grandmother, and beautiful old paintings on the walls. But the most precious thing of all was my jewelry collection. And in that collection, the piece I loved most was the ruby necklace. It was breathtaking. A large, deep red Burmese ruby in the center, surrounded by sparkling old diamonds, hanging from a thin gold chain. My husband Thomas, God rest his soul, gave it to me on our 40th wedding anniversary. He held my hand, looked into my eyes, and said, "Evie, this ruby is for the fire that has always burned in your heart." I cried that day. I only wore it on very special occasions. The rest of the time, it stayed safe in a velvet box in my dresser drawer. I always told myself those treasures were not really mine anymore. They were for my granddaughter, Lila. 10 years ago, my only son and his wife died in a terrible car accident. Lila was 18 then. She had nowhere else to go, so she came to live with me. She was beautiful, smart, and grieving. My heart broke for her. I opened my home, my arms, and my wallet without a second thought. I wanted her to have everything I never had. I paid for her college. I bought her beautiful clothes every season. New phone, new laptop, designer bags, whatever she wanted. I wore the same dresses for years, patched my old shoes, and ate simple meals of soup, bread, and canned beans so that she could have the best. Whenever I showed her the jewelry, her eyes would shine, especially when I brought out the ruby necklace. She would clasp it around her neck, look in the mirror, and say, "Grandma, this is stunning. Vintage is so in right now. Can you imagine me wearing this to a big party or a wedding?" I would smile and say, "One day, Lila, all of this will be yours." And I meant it. But slowly, things began to change. After college, Lila did not find a steady job. She said the market was hard. She stayed living with me, rent-free. My small pension and Social Security paid the bills, but only just. She started taking money from my purse. At first, it was $20 for coffee with friends, then $50 for a manicure, then $100 for a night out. I noticed, but I never said anything. She was family, so it became hundreds of dollars at a time. "I'm just borrowing, Grandma. I'll pay you back when I get a better job." I started hiding my debit card, but she always found it. "Don't be silly, Grandma. We're family. You can trust me." The house became her space more than mine. She had friends over, left clothes and makeup everywhere, and expected me to clean up. "You're home all day anyway, Grandma." I dusted the antiques while she lay on the couch, scrolling on her phone. And the ruby necklace? She borrowed it all the time for dates, parties, photos on social media. "It's fire, Grandma. Everyone compliments me." I grew older quietly. My hands hurt from arthritis. My back ached. My friends moved away or passed on. But I kept going for Lila. I told myself one day she would take care of me the way I was taking care of her. Then came the day my world broke. It was a hot July morning. Lila came into the kitchen carrying a big suitcase. She was wearing sunglasses on her head and a big smile. "Grandma, amazing news. Me and the girls booked a last-minute trip to Bali. 2 whole weeks. Beaches, spas, cocktails, everything." I felt my stomach drop. "Bali? Sweetheart, that must cost a fortune. How are you paying for it?" She laughed and waved her hand. "Already taken care of. I used your card for the flights and hotel deposit. Don't worry, it's an investment in my happiness. I deserve a break after everything. Lila, I said weakly, that card is my entire monthly Social Security check on it. What about groceries? My medicine? She rolled her eyes. Grandma, please don't start. There's rice in the pantry and some canned beans. You'll be fine for 2 weeks. Doctors even say fasting is good at your age. It's like a detox. She kissed my cheek quickly, grabbed her suitcase, and left. The door slammed. The house became completely silent. That silence felt heavy. I sat at the kitchen table for a long time, staring at the empty chair where she usually sat. I felt hungry, not just in my body, but in my heart. How had I let it come to this? Me, scraping the cupboards while she flew across the world on my money. That night, I cannot sleep. I went into Lila's room to tidy up, an old habit. Clothes were everywhere. Makeup on the dresser. Crumpled receipts on the floor. Hundreds spent on cocktails, shoes, spa days. As I picked things up, a bright blue folder fell from her desk drawer. I opened it. Inside were brochures for a place called Sunnyvale Retirement Community. Not a nice one. It was the cheap, state-funded facility outside town. The one everyone whispered terrible things about. Smelled of bleach, bad food, rude staff, lonely old people waiting to die. My hands started shaking. There were legal papers, power of attorney forms already filled out with my name. In the margins, Lila's handwriting. Claim early dementia. Get control of house and bank accounts. Sell antiques fast. Ruby necklace worth at least $50K. There was even a lawyer appointment booked for the week after she came back from Bali. She was not waiting for nature to take me. She was planning to declare me incompetent, pack me off to that awful place, sell everything I'd saved, and live comfortably on the money while I disappeared. I did not cry. Something cold and clear grew inside me. For the first time in years, I thought, enough. The next morning, I put on my best dress, the navy one I saved for special occasions, and called Mr. Harrington, an antique dealer I had known for decades. Mr. Harrington, I said, my voice steady, I have items I want to sell. Today. He came right away. We started with smaller pieces, some silver, porcelain figurines. Then I brought out the ruby necklace. When he saw it, he took a deep breath. Evelyn, this is extraordinary. Burmese ruby, no heat treatment, surrounded by old European cut diamonds. Easily $75,000, maybe more. I looked him in the eye. I want a fair price. Cash. We negotiated. I surprised even myself. I bargained hard. Final price, $82,000. He wrote the check. As he handed it to me, he asked gently, "Are you sure about this? This necklace has family history." I smiled for the first time in days. The history ends today, Mr. Harrington. Now begins a new chapter of mine. With that money in my purse, I did not go by rice and beans. First, I booked an entire month at Azure Springs Spa Resort, the most luxurious place in the mountains. Hot springs, massages, 5-star meals, everything. Then I called professional cleaners. They came the same day and made the whole house shine. Windows, floors, walls. No more dust of the past. Next, I ordered deliveries from the finest gourmet shops in town. Fresh black caviar, foie gras, aged cheeses, truffles, prime steaks, exotic fruits I had never tasted, dragon fruit, mangosteen, champagne from famous years. The old refrigerator, usually almost empty, now was packed full. The shelves were heavy with luxury. I bought myself new clothes, soft silk blouses, cashmere sweaters, comfortable shoes, and jewelry. Beautiful new pieces that made me feel young again. With part of the money, I bought a stunning diamond pendant, bigger and brighter than any ruby. It sparkled like morning sunlight on water. Lila came home earlier than planned. Something about drama with the girls. The front door opened loudly. "Grandma, I'm back. Bali was incredible. You should see my tan." She expected the usual. Me hurrying to help with her bags, the house smelling old, me looking tired and grateful she was home. Instead, Fresh lilies were on the table, soft music played, and I sat in the sunroom wearing a new emerald dress, drinking tea from my best china. She stopped in the doorway. Wow, what happened here? Did you win the lottery? I smiled calmly. Something like that. She shrugged. Whatever. I'm starving. Plain food was awful. She went straight to the kitchen and opened the refrigerator. Silence. Then a loud gasp. She stared at rows of caviar jars, bottles of champagne, cheeses wrapped in gold paper, bright exotic fruits. What is this? She shouted. Grandma, this stuff costs thousands. Where did you get the money? I walked in slowly. I found resources you didn't know about, dear. Her face went pale under her tan. She ran upstairs. I heard drawers opening, doors banging. Then screams. The jewelry box is empty. The porcelain gone. The silver gone. She ran back down, holding the empty velvet case that used to hold the ruby necklace. Grandma, we've been robbed. Everything valuable is missing. Call the police right now. I looked at her quietly. No one robbed us, Lila. I sold everything. She froze. You sold my inheritance? I sold my property, I corrected, to a reputable dealer, for a very good price. She started screaming. You can't do that. The ruby necklace was mine. I was going to wear it to important events. It was worth a fortune. I reached up and touched the new diamond pendant around my neck. It caught the light and sparkled beautifully. Lila's eyes fixed on it. That's new. Where did you get that? I turned so she could see it clearly. I traded your future for my present, Lila. And darling, it sparkles better on me. Her mouth opened and closed. No words came. Then anger exploded. Tears, shouting, accusations. You're crazy. Senile. I'm calling the lawyer. We'll prove you weren't in your right mind. Those sales will be canceled. I walked to the side table and took out the blue folder, the one I had found. I placed it in front of her. She recognized it immediately. All color left her face. Sunnyvale, retirement community? I said softly, power of attorney? Plans to sell the house and everything in it while I lived in that place. She started stammering. It was just in case. A backup plan if you got worse. I looked at her, the grown woman I had raised, and felt only sadness and strength. This is my house, Lila. I have already changed the locks. Your personal things are packed and in storage. You can pick them up tomorrow. But you cannot stay here anymore. She begged. She cried. She threatened. But in the end, she took her suitcase and left. The door closed behind her. The house was quiet again, but this time the quiet felt peaceful. Now, months later, I am living a life I never imagined. The month at the spa resort was heaven. Daily massages, delicious meals, walks in the mountains, new friends. I came home feeling younger. The house is bright and light now. I kept only the things I truly love. I wear my diamond pendant every day. I eat what I want when I want. I travel when I feel like it. I am happy. Lila got a real job. She rents a small apartment. She is learning to live on her own money. We do not speak anymore. I learned the most important lesson of my life. We must love our family, but we must also love ourselves. The best inheritance is not things we leave behind. It is the example we set by finally choosing our own happiness when the time comes. And that, dear listeners, is the end of the Ruby Revenge. What do you think? Was I right to sell everything and send Lila away? Or should family always come first, no matter what? Where's the line between sacrifice and being used? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And tell me, have you ever had to choose yourself over a toxic family member? If this story touched you, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Your support means the world to this channel. On your screen now are 2 more stories I think you'll love. Click and keep watching. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, you owe your happiness to yourself first. Until the next story, take care.